Good morning, students. Hope all of you are fine. As you know, yesterday we started chapter 5 of Civics, and name of this chapter is Democratic Rights. And yesterday we discussed about that what do we mean by rights, and with that we discussed various incidents like of Saudi Arabia, Kosovo, that and how the rights were violated over there. Now the today's topic is why do we need rights in a democracy? So why do we need rights? As we know, rights are necessary for the very sustenance of a democracy. It means these rights are like the two faces of a coin in a democracy. So, in a democracy, every citizen has to have the right to vote, the right to be elected to the government. As we know, democracy means the government by the people, for the people, of the people. And for democratic elections to take place, it is necessary that citizens should have the right to express their opinion, form political parties, and take part in political activities. So, rights also perform a very special role in a democracy, like it protect minorities from the oppression of majority. With that, they ensure that the majority cannot do whatever it likes. Rights are guarantees which can be used when things go wrong. Things may go wrong when some citizen may wish to take away the rights of others. And it usually happens when those in majority want to dominate those in minority. So it is the responsibility of the government to protect the citizen rights. But sometimes elected government may not protect or may even attack the rights of their own citizen. That is why some rights need to be placed higher than the government, so that the even government cannot violate these rights. And in most of the democracies, the basic rights of the citizens are written down in the constitution. Like if we talk about our country, these basic rights, these are known as the fundamental rights. So now we will discuss about the rights in the Indian constitution. Like in India, these rights are mentioned in the constitution, and these rights, which are fundamental to our life, are given a special status. They are called fundamental rights. We have already read in chapter 3 the preamble to our constitution. Like it talks about securing for all its citizens equality, liberty, and justice. As we know that in preamble all these features are mentioned, that what are the basic principle, what are the basic guidelines for our constitution. Our constitution provides for 6 fundamental rights, and these fundamental rights, beta, this image is also mentioned. These are right to equality, right to constitutional remedies, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and the rights against exploitation. These are the 6 fundamental rights which are given to every citizen in India. So now we will discuss all these fundamental rights in detail. So the very first right that we are going to discuss, that is right to equality. The constitution says that the government shall not deny to any person in India equally before the law or the equal protection of the laws. It means that the laws apply in the same manner to all, regardless of a person's status. As you know, in India, rule of law is applicable, and rule of law, it is the foundation of any democracy. It means every people, every citizen of the country, that is equal before the law, and no one is above the law. in our country. So there cannot be any distinction between a political leader, government official, and an ordinary citizen. Every citizen, from the prime minister to a small farmer in a remote village, is subjected to the same laws. It means laws are same for everyone. No person can legally claim any special treatment or privilege just because he or she happens to be an important person. For example, a few years ago, a former prime minister of the country faced a court case on the charges of cheating. The court finally declared that he was not guilty. But as long as the case continued, he had to go to the court, give evidence, and file papers just like any other citizens. As you know, in previous chapter we discussed about that in our country judiciary is independent, right? So this basic position is further clarified in the constitution, like the government shall not discriminate against any citizens on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. Every citizen shall have access to public places like shops, restaurants, hotels, and cinema halls. As you know, if we talk about the apartheid that was prominent in South Africa, that was the racial discrimination on the basis of skin color, right? But when we talk about democracy, when we talk about right to equality, so all these things they don't have any place in the democracy. Even there shall be no restriction with regard to the use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, playgrounds, and places of public resorts maintained by the government or dedicated to the use of the general public. This might appear very obvious, but it was necessary to incorporate these rights in the constitution of our country, because as you know, in our country there was the caste system was very much prominent. Like there was the lower class which were known to be as the untouchables. So that is why this right to equality, it is mentioned in our constitution. The same principle applies to public jobs. All citizens have equality of opportunity in matters relating to the employment or appointment to any position in the government. No citizen shall be discriminated against or made ineligible for employment on the grounds mentioned above. It means in all the cases, all the people they will have equal access to the employment opportunities, to the economic opportunities, etc. As we read in previous chapter, the government of India has provided reservation for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Various governments have different schemes for giving preference to women, poor, or physically handicapped in some kinds of job. So, equally means giving everyone an equal opportunity to achieve whatever one is capable of. And sometimes it is necessary for the government to give some special treatment. That is why this job reservation it is provided to some categories. The principle of non-discrimination extends to social life as well. Like the constitution mentions one extreme form of social discrimination, the practice of untouchability, and clearly directs the government to put an end to it. As you know, now in India, the practice of untouchability has been forbidden in any form. And untouchability doesn't only mean refusal to touch people belonging to certain caste. Even It refers to any belief or social practice which looks down upon people on account of their birth with certain caste labels. It means we cannot use the caste related words also. And even these practice denies them interaction with others. So the constitution made untouchability a punishable offense. And this untouchability it was prohibited under Article 17 of our Constitution. So, this was the topic about the fundamental rights, and today we discussed about the right to equality. The other topic we will discuss in tomorrow's lecture, that will be about the right to freedom. Hope all of you have understood this topic well. Thank you and have a nice day.